What up? What up? What up? Shout out to the CIA. Let me turn this down a little bit. Do me a favor, when you get in, go ahead and hit that hot fire. It's time for the afternoon drive. We're gonna do a little chit chat with the Godfather. I can't wait till I move out of this city and get to a city that actually has some roads that are not as bumpy as Oklahoma City, man. The roads here are terrible. See, one of the things when you live in a major market, a big city, when you have money for infrastructure, you can actually have money for road programs and things like that. If you ever have gone to small town America, potholes and bad roads are just what happens. You see the title of the stream. It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault. And what do I mean by it ain't your fault? How many people have seen the movie Good Will Hunting? A great movie by the late Robin Williams and a younger Matt Damon. Well, Matt Damon plays a troubled genius who lives in the college town, Boston. And Robert Williams plays a character as a therapist who actually befriend Matt Damon's character. And for the first time, Matt Damon runs into a person that has not only patience, but the heart and the desire to actually break down his barriers and talk to him, because he can see the hurt in this young man. And one of the critical parts in there is Matt Damon's character is sitting there struggling, trying to, insult him and, be rude and all the things, his defense mechanisms. And Robin Williams just finally says, son, it ain't your fault. And then Matt Damon keeps on fighting back and forth like, yeah, man, fuck yeah, whatever, dude. You old motherfucker. You punk bitch. Da-da-da, it ain't your fault. Yeah, man, whatever. Kiss my foot, suck my toe, it ain't your fault. Yeah, man, whatever. You ain't shit, it ain't your fault. But then after a few more times, Matt Damon's character finally starts to break down and it ain't your fault. He said, don't play with me, man. It ain't your fault. Until this tough, scrabbled South Boston young man finally breaks down and starts crying from the hurt little boy he is. That is a powerful scene in that movie. Powerful scene. And this is what I'm coming to tell men today in general, black men in particular. It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault, man. It ain't your fault that your daddy wasn't in your household. It ain't your fault that your daddy was not in your life. It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault that your mama loved you, but she didn't really like you. It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault that you had to grow up by the age of 8 years old and be called the man of the house and had to step into responsibilities that you wasn't qualified for. It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault that you had to grow up too soon. You had checking accounts and light bills and all kind of shit in your name before you was 13. It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault that you went to school. They put you on medication and told you you were going to be this, you're going to be that. And people throughout your entire life told you you're going to be in somebody's jail, prison cell, or dead. None of this is your fault. It ain't your fault that you are finding yourself in your late teens, early 20s, trying to get out and live a life for yourself for the first time, but you feel guilty because you can't move away from mama, because mama made decisions in her life to keep her out here fucked up in her 40s and 50s, to where you as a young man cannot even go spread your wings and fly because you feel like you got to take care of your mama. It ain't your fault. It ain't your fault that you grew up in a time where being a man is damn near outlawed. None of this shit is your fault. But it is your responsibility to do something about it. I work with men on a weekly basis who often I'm the first person that's told them in their life, it ain't your fault. I work with men on a weekly basis to where if I catch them in their 20s, 30s, sometimes in their 40s, to where I'm the first person that's actually seen them for the first time and told them it ain't your fault. But I also tell them it is your responsibility to do something about it. Because none of us get to pick our parents or the year we were born. We don't get to pick any of this shit. All we get to do is choose what we do about it. That is your responsibility. Your responsibility is to put yourself first, man. You do not have to take care of your mama just because she does not have a husband. Mama chose her life. And I guarantee you this, no matter if you were raised in this country or another country, I don't care what guilt or burden your family, the women in your family, the society, this country, this world, your church has heaped on your shoulders, it is not your responsibility. It ain't your fault. Because here's the thing, if the Creator, the God of your understanding, called you home today, do you think your mama would follow you to the grave? No. Somehow, some way, she would figure out how to take care of herself. She's the parent. She should have been able to take care of herself. You don't owe her for raising you. It ain't your fault. Your father. I say again, your father. Too many of you don't know him. You don't know his side of the story. Stop feeling guilty about how you feel about that man. You had a narrative crafted for you when you were too young to defend yourself. It ain't your fault that you feel the way you feel about a man you don't even know. And you've never sat down and talked to him and heard what he had to say from his standpoint. It ain't his fault either. But it is your responsibility to be a son to somebody that you want to be a father. See, so many guys today walk around looking like boys. because that's who you are. Your boy's on the inside. I don't care if you're making 6 figures and you got a master's degree. I read men every day, and I help free men to be men by telling them for the first time in their life, a lot of times, it ain't your fault. But it is your responsibility, because the world is not going to sit down and ask you your story. The world's not going to ask you your circumstances. The world's not going to ask you how you got where you got. The world expects you to perform. And so should you. The world expects you to be a man. At 21, oh yeah, you should be a man. At 25, if you're not out here taking care of yourself, living on your own, if you're living in your mama's house, I don't care what you're doing, for the most part, you know what the world's gonna say about a guy that's 25 years old living at home with mama and daddy. They don't judge those people too well. Women certainly don't. Kendra D made a video the other day that I think guys need to check out, especially black men. We were raised to be weaklings. I, along with you. My mother, I'll give you some honesty. My mother was a tough woman. My mama had a gang when she was growing up, like a show-enough gang. I would run into people around Oklahoma and they'd be like, "You so-and-so, son? Oh yeah, your mama was no joke." I would hear men talk about how tough my mama was in junior high and high school. We talking about leather jacket wearing, beat motherfuckers up wearing. She used to whoop my uncle's butt. They would fight. He's the oldest. Yeah, that's my mother. But you know one thing she did not want me to do? She did not want me to fight. As a matter of fact, she told me as a little boy, if you go out there and get into a fight, I'm gonna whoop you. So I would end up getting on the playground and be in somebody's punching bag because my mama tied both hands behind my back because she was so afraid that I would go out here and fight and end up getting killed or something, to where she made me a pussy. Trying to protect me, she handicapped me. There was a time where I came home at 4 years old, and I was getting my butt whooped on the playground. And I tell her, "Mama, this little kid keep beating me up. And you won't let me fight." "I don't want you to fight him, but Mama, he keeps on fighting me. He won't let me go." Nope. You imagine what it's like to go out to the playground and know you can't punch back because your mama don't want you to fight? And this happened 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. To the 4th day, she actually finally decided to fucking clue in and look out the window and see what's really going on. And she saw this little boy walking around in his robe talking about, "I'm Muhammad Ali, I'm Muhammad Ali." And I go out onto the playground where the tetherball was, and short order, he'd start beating up on me and I couldn't fight back. But then she saw his mama standing in the hallway in another tenement watching her son beat me up. This woman smoking a cigarette, watching her son beat me up. I went home that afternoon and my mama finally woke the fuck up and said, "I don't ever want you to get beat up again." She finally took the handcuffs off of me because she thought she was helping me, keeping me out of trouble. And what it made me was weak. So when she let the handcuffs go, needless to say, I went to the playground the next day and I beat the dog shit out of that boy. Beat him so bad that he decided he was gonna pick on my little cousin. Same age, he was just physically smaller. My cousin took one of that little, little ball with the stick with the balls to bounce around there. He popped that motherfucker upside the head, and all I remember seeing them balls bouncing everywhere. Me and that boy became close friends. I tell you that story to tell you this. So many women have raised their sons to be weak. I don't want you going out here getting in trouble. I don't want you going out here fighting. I don't want you going out here competing. What did Kendra say? I don't want you to raise a man to ever challenge me. Go watch that video. To whether if she was right or wrong, it doesn't matter. The outcome is still the same. So many young men today, you walk around in a prison. Yes, you've never broken a law. You've never been on the wrong side of the law. You went to college, you made good grades, but you've been in a prison the entire time. A prison of weakness. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't your fault. It ain't your fault your mama did that. It ain't your fault that's how you grew up. But it is your responsibility to do something about it because you know there's a problem. You look at yourself like a wolf, dragon, an eagle. These majestic ass things, a lion. But what about your life says any of these things? We have a bunch of caged men today. I'm gonna give you a key. It's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to do something about it. It is up to you to do something about it. And you can't blame your mama. You can't blame, she did the best she could. She did what she knew how. You ain't gonna get nothing done by blaming her anyway. You ain't gonna get nothing done by blaming anybody. You gotta look in the mirror and say, it's on me. This is where I am. And if I want something better, I gotta do better. It ain't your fault, but it is your responsibility because you owe you. Put yourself first. It's better for everybody when you do. It's better for you as a single man. It's better for you as a married man. It's better for you as a friend. It's better for you as a brother. It's better for you as a son. It's better for you as a man in this community. Bottom line, when I coach with guys, life coaching, a lot of times what it is teaching guys how to emancipate and parent themselves. And there's no shame in that. So if you want to come to my comment section and talk about, MIT and all this other kind of stuff, it seems like it's a bunch of guys with daddy issues. Guess what? Your comments will never see the light of day and you'll be blocked off my channel because I applaud men who decide to say, I know it's my responsibility and I need help getting to the next level because success is a team sport. Nobody gets there by themselves. Show me a man who says, there's something wrong where I need to do better. I don't know how. That's somebody that has a future. Show me a guy that think he don't need no help or he's better than everybody else. I'll show you a man that's blind. Question is, what are you gonna do? Now that you know it's not your fault, what you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because going forward, it's all your responsibility. See, that's the unlock. It's all your responsibility. You got to do something about it. The world does not care, nor should it, and nor should you. Till next time, peace.